But I wasn't this. Sorry, once again, whether he's in his authority or not, that's not integral to the point. The fact is that Donald Trump is continuing to increase not just the size but the scope of what the government is doing, and small government Republicans have somehow disappeared into, well, fuck it, let's just send it in national regard to anything. You guys don't actually care about that. You guys only use that when it comes to like more funding for like children getting fucking free lunches, and then when it comes to things like, oh, maybe states we shouldn't have the president being able just to send national guard over the governor's head. It's like, fuck no, we're not like
so that
small government. Nah.
That's
so you guys don't actually believe in small government. You guys just believe in small government as a convenient talking point.
Yeah, no, so I actually agree.
Hi guys, thank you for watching this video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see any future content. Also, make sure to follow my socials in the description. And if you want to debate sometime, just add me on TikTok and send me a DM. Thank you. Lave it. What's up, man? Asian, did you vote for?
23, Chicago, Illinois. I voted for Donald Trump. I voted red down ballot.
Okay. As you see, I see you've been commenting a decent amount. I've been talking about the attacks against free speech the Trump administration has been doing. Any comments so far?
Yeah, I mean, it's just hypocritical. Can I ask you, how long have you been on TikTok?
8 months.
8 months. Okay, great. So you're aware that? Oh, wait. And I also want to ask you one more question. Do you believe that Donald Trump wants to suppress anybody in any platform that talks bad about him?
On any platform?
Yeah, like Donald Trump is willing to suppress any platform he can where people are talking bad about him. Do you think that?
I don't know if any platform. I believe that he'd be willing to take actions against people if they did.
Okay, great. Okay, great. So within the 8 months you've been on TikTok, in the years that a bunch of other Democratic people who vote Democrat have been on TikTok, TikTok was actually banned. The bill of the ban was signed by Joe Biden. And all Donald Trump had to do was enforce the law that Joe Biden signed, and you wouldn't be on TikTok now. TikTok would be banned. So the voice that you have to be on this app at the moment, talking bad about him, he's allowing you to do. So that doesn't sound anti free speech to me. He's actually he's giving you a platform to do it. You're on Trump's app.
I would call this Trump's app by any stretch of the by any stretch. I think number one, if we're gonna like talk about TikTok, it's good to go back to his first presidency, where he's actively calling for a TikTok ban and was supporting legislation to ban it. This is a bipartisan issue, so both sides agreed on this. Then Biden, following Trump and agreeing with him from his first term, said, "Yeah, this is something we should do. Let's implement it." But both the Republicans and the Democrats agreed on this. Then going into his second term, he then said, "Well, it's like this was like hugely unpopular among young voters to ban TikTok," and so as he became president, he implemented an executive order to stay it. So I don't think this was out of any kind of the kindness of my heart. I really just care about speech that much. I think this was a ploy to gain popular support among the base and among people.
Yeah.
I think it's easily demonstrated by the fact that he was completely willing and actually advocating for a TikTok ban within his first presidency. And then once again, we can see with his the lawsuits that we've seen against people like the Iowa pollster, the lawsuits we've seen against people like ABC, the slap suits that he continues to put on different news agencies, which have like zero or little ground, but are merely to try and like keep them from talking about him or talking bad about the president and his actions. And then these two court cases, which I've been referencing, where his administration is blatantly violating the free speech of immigrants, Harvard and U.S. Citizens, and then his own campaign, which ran on doing things like suppressing or banning burning the flag, which since 1984 in Texas v. Johnson has been determined to be a First Amendment protected speech, or at least expression. I think it's pretty obvious that he hates free speech.
Yeah, so I mean, there are some problematic things. Absolutely, I can agree to. The Department of Homeland Security absolutely has the right to revoke visas for what they deem fit. That's not against the law to revoke people's visas. Marco Rubio was pretty clear on that. He said, we bring people over here on visas to get educated, not to be political activists. And I agree with him on that. But either way, this thing, so according to the 22nd Amendment, Donald Trump can legally not run again. I mean, unless that amendment gets amended, he cannot run again. Right. So this thing where it's about popularity and things like that. He was inaugurated January 20th, right? So we're talking about the next 4 years. I mean, unless impeachment was to happen, which it probably isn't, or it might. That's really irrelevant. Who he doesn't give a shit about being popular again because
I think
guess
he
what?
does. I think that's his.
People can't vote for him again.
Personality, absolutely.
I mean, he probably cares about attention, but I mean, I think a lot of people would agree with me that Donald Trump is a person who believes that any attention, whether it's good or bad, is attention, and I think he's willing to have it.
I think he likes good and bad attention. I think, and this was like hugely unpopular among people, and he decided to take the stance of doing it. And I don't think it's just elections I care about. If I was to like go on elections, and go, okay, well the midterms are something that's going to absolutely still happen. I don't know how much I care to make the argument that he's going to try and run again in 2028. But absolutely, I think it's absolutely like even outside. I think his actions were definitely to gain popular support among like younger people, especially when it comes to things like TikTok.
Yeah, I mean, okay. So wait, so hold on. So, what does gaining? I mean, unless you think he cares about the GOP, which is kind of crazy because I hear a lot of people who vote, and it's not you, so I probably shouldn't group you in with him. But a lot of people I hear that are against Trump say he's selfish. He cares about no one else but himself and enriching himself and keeping everything towards him, right? So unless you're saying that he just cares about his party, right? Being popular doesn't benefit him because he's going to have to relinquish power.
I don't think he being popular is what he likes. He likes the attention. He likes being in the spotlight all the time, right? Like, why is it his abortion position in 2016 completely changed from oh yeah, we need to punish women who get abortions to, well, it's up to the states if what they want to do. And then even when he became president, he starts implementing things like easier access to IVF, which most people who are against abortion are hugely against, because when you do IVF, a lot of fertilized eggs end up unaliving versus just like a regular pregnancy. So I think I think it is for popular support. I think we can see that demonstrated in his actions. He continues to do things not because even another election coming up, but just because he's somebody who likes being in the spotlight. He likes a good and negative attention, and in this case, he was like, yeah, this is popular. Let's do it. And by the way, yeah, go ahead.
So just asking, just to clarify, I mean, politicians switch their stances on things all the time. Do you believe that they switch their stances because they want to be more popular? They want to appeal to a certain group? So Harris was on record before this election saying that she was against fracking. And then this election, she changed her view. So did she just change her view because she wants to be more popular to the people in Pennsylvania? Or what?
Yeah, Harris was more popular to like a specific voting demographic. But then I pointed out, like, because your entire argument, if we're going by your logic, your argument was, well, there's no election for Trump to look forward to, so what's the point of appealing to popular support? And I gave it, okay, well, Donald Trump changed his position from like abortion, which obviously could save us for the election. But then even afterwards, when he became president, he's implementing policies which anti-abortion advocates would completely disagree with. So what's the point of that? And I was like, oh, because for popular support, obviously. Not for any election, but because that's what he likes. He's a narcissist. He's somebody who likes to be in the spotlight, and he likes when people like praise him.
Okay. Will you admit? Just want to ask. Will you admit that the only reason people have been able to be on this app is because Donald Trump allowed it? Will you admit that
right now?
Yeah. Well, besides, because I believe the app.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you admit it. So I mean, okay. He allowed it, regardless. Like I said,
but once again, that doesn't. I just want to clear. So I want to wrap back because I think I pretty substantially proved my point here about, okay, for popular support, that's the reason he's doing this. And he's not doing it out of the genuine kindness of his heart because, oh, I'm just so free speech. I point out the fact, burning the flag, that's constitutionally protected. He's going after speech. He literally ran on going after First Amendment protected speech. He's violating the First Amendment rights of Harvard, its students, and visa holders as determined by two district courts, and his own AG, Pam Bondi, literally said she was going to go after hate speech, something that is protected under the Constitution, and he doubled down on those same comments. Now, none of those statements are actually gated.
You're a Democrat. People who vote Democrat have always believed that hate speech shouldn't be protected by free speech. So now, why are you changing your stance? Because that doesn't make sense.
I disagreed with most. I just want to be clear. I've disagreed with most liberals on that. I have my own independent positions.
Okay, so you have no problem. So, for example, like. I wouldn't.
I have no problem with hate speech, but once again, that doesn't. That's a pivot. And that's a red herring, right? That doesn't negate the fact that Donald Trump is now going after hate speech or at least his AG says she is going to, and he doubled down on those statements when she said she was going to do that, which is constitutionally protected speech. I think it once again demonstrates his hatred or dislike of speech that goes against his administration.
Okay. Okay. I mean, I can't necessarily argue with that because I mean it's the truth. You can't argue with the truth. But I just, like I said, I just find it. You call it a red herring or a straw man or whatever. But I just find it hypocritical that you come from a party of people or vote alongside a party of people who have always been for restricting hate speech.
It's not. So, it's the reason it's a red herring because the specific subject is about Trump, and you're trying to say, oh, but what about the Democrats? That is a red herring. And it is a dishonest debate tactic. But at least on me being hypocritical, it isn't. I'm going to vote for the party that's going to best suit or at least help the well-being of Americans. And even if I disagree with some policy positions of that party, which have to do with hate speech, I recognize that one, hate speech law, there really aren't any hate speech laws implemented in America, even in Democrat cities and towns. And then number two, voting for somebody like Donald Trump, who is actively taking steps to actually suppress hate speech more than Democrats have ever have, and is on top of that doing things like attacking our democracy by trying to do a coup on January 6th. It's like the well-being of Americans is going to be more maximized by voting for Democrats. So it's not hypocritical of me to.
Okay, wait. What policy did Harris have that would benefit Americans? And I pray you don't bring up the first-time home buyer thing, because that wouldn't. I mean, what policy? Can you tell me a policy that she had that would benefit most Americans?
Yeah, absolutely. I think. Specifically, what was it? Her investment into small businesses and tax breaks. I think those would have helped a lot of Americans, especially starting up businesses. I think that's pretty good. And I think her idea for investing in food supply chains to try and bring down the price of groceries would have also benefited most Americans, especially after the hyperinflation we saw from C-19.
Oh, so yeah, you're for restricting the free market. Yeah, you believe in restricting the free market. So Harris,
yeah.
Are we talking about the same thing?
I don't believe in completely free market. Yes, we should restrict the free market. I prefer people don't dump chemicals in the rivers. Yes.
Okay. Right. Yeah. I got it. I got it. Yeah. Restrict the free market. Tell private companies that they can't raise their prices when they feel like it, all because you don't like. I understand. You don't like price gouging. Okay. I got it. Cool.
That's not what Harris was advocating for. If you read this,
no, she absolutely advocated
if you read the specific policy when she was talking about caps on grocery prices, she was talking specifically during disasters. So a lot of states already have policies like this implemented, where if there's a natural disaster, businesses aren't allowed to just raise their prices to gouge customers, and so that people still have access to foods. And I'm perfectly fine with her doing that. I think
right. So,
I think it's an important thing that we help out victims of hurricanes, earthquakes, and natural disasters, which could be especially when they're in times of need.
Yeah, so absolutely, I agree that it's ethically or probably even morally wrong to raise prices during a disaster, all because you want a little bit more profit. But that's what separates Republicans from Democrats, because Republicans believe in limited government. I mean, even though some of the stuff Trump's doing isn't limited. No, yeah, absolutely, that's one of the Republicans.
Okay, how do you feel about Donald Trump sending the National Guard to these cities and taking over D.C.?
Oh, well, no, D.C. is not a state, so Donald Trump actually is within his authority to do it in D.C.
But I wasn't once again, whether he's in his authority or not, that's not integral to the point. The fact is that Donald Trump is continuing to increase not just the size but the scope of what the government is doing, and small government Republicans have somehow disappeared into, well, fuck it, let's just send in a National Guard to anything. You guys don't actually care about that. You guys only use that when it comes to more funding for children getting fucking free lunches, and then when it comes to things maybe states shouldn't have the president being able just to send a National Guard over the governor's head. It's fuck no, we're not,
no. So that
small government, nah.
Listen. That's
so you guys don't actually believe in small government. You guys just believe in small government as a convenient talking point.
Yeah, no. So I actually agree that going over the government, even though, so number one, in a place like Chicago, I live in Chicago. So a place like Chicago, where number one, ICE is a law enforcement agency. I'm gonna get to why Greg Abbott said that the National Guard was sent here. So ICE is a law enforcement agency. It's a federal law enforcement agency that has jurisdiction over all 50 states. When ICE is legally somewhere and you have people attacking them, and the governors and mayors of those states and the mayors of those cities refuse to condemn it or refuse to give them assistance to protect themselves, that's when why we send the National Guard. The National Guard is in these places to protect
so
ICE.
it's. I think it
They're
should
not
be,
they're not enforcing the law.
It should be relevant to point out, like even when ICE and DHS agents were getting attacked in like LA and California, the court still determined that while it was in the president's authority to send in the National Guard in those instances, the things the National Guard did while they were there actually exceeded their the constitutional ability for the Army can do.
Okay. I mean, you just find anything to complain about.
You can't. I'm sorry, Republicans can't like be here saying that the party of small government, and then Donald Trump like does implements like the crackdowns all across the country, like sending a National Guard everywhere, or like consolidating more and more power. And we point out like, how the fuck can you guys be like calling yourself small government Republicans as Donald Trump is doing this? On top of it, that like I'll point out the fact. ICE has completely overran its budget, and guess what Congress did? They could continue to, a Republican Congress, increase the budget of ICE. They massively increased the budget of DHS too. Wait. You can't say that you guys are the party of small government and then continue to increase the budgets of these agencies. When it comes to welfare, Republicans say we're small government. When it comes to law enforcement, Republicans don't give a fuck. They will fund that shit to kingdom come. Exactly. So guys aren't small. You guys aren't small government. You guys just don't like specific programs in the government. That's what actions the government takes. That's what liberals do too.
And I'll agree with you. So the thing is,
base concession. Thank you.
No, I can see to that. I'm not gonna argue. If I'm an honest person, so I'll say what's true and what isn't. The point, another tenet of the Republican Party is rule through law, or law and order. It's a great thing. The military industrial complex, funding that out the ass is a great thing. Funding our law enforcement agencies are a great thing. We should overfund them. ICE was funded with the big beautiful bill. ICE was funded to the tune of $170 billion. You should want, that's more than some countries spend on their military. We should want our law enforcement agencies to be overly funded. We should want them to have the latest equipment. We should want our law enforcement agencies to be able to say that they don't have any problems. That's what I'm telling you. So you can complain about the funding that we give these people, but these people will keep our streets safe. They put their lives on the line every day. So
yeah, I think number one, the number one thing is, before even like this increased funding, the crime rate across the country has gone down consistently for literally years. Like DC, in January, sent out the DOJ posted a report that DC was at a 30-year low in crime, and you guys are still continuing to fund these agencies. I'm fine if a police agency is actually underfunded, give it more money, give it more equipment, give it what it needs. But if crime is going down already, and these law enforcement agencies are doing a fine job of fixing it on their own, there's no point in continuing to fund these agencies. It's waste. It's fraud. It's abuse.
Yeah, so
okay, as Doge would famously say, as Elon Musk would say, right? That's at that point it's unnecessary. And once again, you guys can't be saying, "Hey, we're the party of law and order. We're the party who goes in here reinforce these laws." And then once again, the implementation of the National Guard, even to enforce these laws, it overrides the governorship, which is illegal, and it overrides their constitutional boundaries when it go beyond their duty of protecting law enforcement officers who are doing like ICE. Deportations and ICE raids, and goes into doing like crowd control and helping actual police officers and doing arrests. That's in the action of enforcing laws. You guys continue to break them. Same with like the deportations. We saw literally the Supreme Court came out and said like 63 immigrants who deported to El Salvador, Venezuelans who deported to El Salvador. Their due process rights are violated. You guys can't claim to be the party small government, do this. You can't claim to be the party of law and order and then violate the laws as you're trying to enforce them.
Oh my God. I mean, you're the king. You're the king of excuses.
It's not excuses. It's just reality. I'm the king
of reality.
For
Halloween, you should be a stove with how much you're gaslighting.
It's hard to know facts. It's hard to know.
No, reality. I mean, I understand. I know everything you're saying. But I mean, you're talking about the same Supreme Court who told the Department of Homeland Security they could deport someone from Mexico to South Sudan. So I mean, what's your point? What's your point?
Yeah, as long as you have due process, yes.
No, what's crazy? Okay, what's crazy is you want to quote.
They didn't say that was constitutional. They just put a state on a lower court order, which enjoined.
And that person was still deported to South Sudan.
So whether that's constitutional is still up in the air.
Yeah, well, the person, guess what? They're still deporting people to countries that they're not from. So either way, the crazy part about all this is, and you're going to call it red herring again, you want to quote certain Supreme Court decisions, you want to quote the ones you like, but when it's the ones you don't like, you say, oh, the Supreme Court's conservative 6-3, they're bound down to Donald Trump.
During this entire
That's
conversation.
what you did. Yeah, that's what you did. Oh my God.
Well, no, seriously. Whenever I said that during this entire conversation.
I mean, I just know that's what you would do. Wait, is the Supreme Court?
Have you watched me before?
Is the Supreme Court bound down to Trump?
Wait, have you watched me before? Yes or no?
I mean, I know your rhetoric. I heard your rhetoric all over. I've heard
when
your
in my
rhetoric.
Did I ever make that position?
I mean, I just know from what you believe.
Okay, dude. Like, just want to play. It's really dishonest of you when you come up here. You've watched everybody shit before. And just based off the fact that I'm left-leaning and vote Democrat, you immediately assume all my political positions. And you've already heard in this conversation that I've disagreed with Democrats and the left and stuff when it comes to hate speech. I don't know why you'd assume that I have the exact same opinion as every other Democrat.
Because it's like y'all are in like an MSNBC group chat, or getting all the same talking points.
No, we're not. Okay.
Okay.
All right. This isn't the DQ.
Oh, can you say one good thing that Trump's done in this administration?
I think. Declaring the cartels T groups was pretty based. I think going hard off the cartels is a pretty good policy.
Great. You don't have a problem with him?
I think his 180 on Ukraine, going back to supporting them, I also think that was a big dub in Trump.
So great. You don't have any problem with him blowing up these boats coming from Venezuela?
I do have a problem with that.
Oh, okay, bad. But they're terrorist groups. I thought you said you didn't have a problem with
is that they didn't stop the boat. They didn't do what you would normally do when you find a boat out in international waters. They just blew it up, and then we got confirmation, if I'm correct, from the Venezuelan government that was just a bunch of Venezuelan citizens on a boat. They didn't even know if there were rugs on there.
Wait, you believe the Venezuelan government over your own?
Yeah, I don't like. Yeah.
Yeah, you see? I mean, you're the enemy within. You're the enemy within that Donald Trump was talking about. You believe enemy country's government over ours. Who's next? You believe Kim Jong-un over Trump, wouldn't you?
Depends on what it's on.
Oh my God! I'm done. I can't. You said you believe a dictator over Trump.